Hello, dear viewers, and welcome to the fourth episode on National Education Policy. Now, today's video is more about answering a lot of questions that is being asked as far as NEP is concerned. That's why the title of this particular session is NEP 2020, Why, What, and How. So I will try to answer two whys, one what, and one how. So why, what, and how of NEP 2020 is what we are going to discuss in this particular video. Now, what are the session contents we have? Why and what of NEP 2020? Constraints, hurdles, bottlenecks that I anticipate. How we can implement NEP 2020 in higher education institutions in Karnataka. There are two very important other issues that I would like to speak about. And finally, conclusion as far as my thoughts for this session is concerned. I would like to answer the first why. There are two whys, as I mentioned. The first why is why NEP 2020? A very relevant question. Now, if you look at the present or the existing education system, at Mangalore University, we have the choice-based credit system. But then the fact remains, you can change the content, you can change the structure, but until and unless there's a change in methodology, there's a change in evaluation system, I think there won't be any significant change that would happen. So a very important question that everyone is asking, be it the teacher, be it the parents, be it the management, or be it the society in general. Question that each of them is asking, are we producing employable graduates? Just think about it. As a teacher, I take up my classes. I focus more on the employability of the students, even in the existing structure. But the question is, how many teachers would focus on the same, where the major thrust is on passing the examination and scoring a very high marks, maybe a distinction or maybe a centum, you can say. Similarly, parents as well. Their wards, their children have completed their graduation, but they are not able to join for a fruitful employment. So also management. Management is attracting the number of students it has to, but the question management is asking, what is there in general education, through which the student can definitely go in for something of their own in the lines of entrepreneurship or something in the lines of fruitful employment. So also society. There are very, very straddling quotes. One quote that I remember vividly right now is, Mr. Narayan Murthy speaking about the engineering graduates. He quoted somewhere that 85% of the engineering graduates are unemployable. So why NEP 2020? The question is whether this employable graduate creation will happen under NEP 2020. Only time will say, but an attempt has been made in the right direction to see to it that the graduates become employable by giving them the need-based and industry-related curriculum with focus on all-round growth, the wholesome growth of a student, be it the spiritual, be it the health, be it the mental, to go along with the intellectual growth. So possibly I believe NEP 2020 has an answer if it is implemented in the right spirit. The second why that I'm asking is why NEP 2020 in higher education? Why not from primary school? This is a very interesting question that people are asking. I believe I've already answered this particular question, a very relevant question. Now, if you look at the NEP 2020 document, which is given by the central government, there is a concept called Balavatika, Anganwadis, or we say nursery. Now, initially in the existing system, the government's focus was from first standard. Once the child attains the age of 6 years, from first standard onwards, to the +2 level or the pre-degree level or the PU level, as we say. And if from the foundational, aspect like Balavatika, Anganwadi or nursery, if NEP 2020 would have been implemented, it would have taken 15 years to reach to the level of higher education. And till that time, I'm asking this relevant question: can we afford to continue to produce unemployable graduates? Somewhere or the other, we had to make a start. And I believe, though it is out of turn, it is a wonderful decision by the government of Karnataka to implement NEP 2020 in higher education institution. Because it's time for us to produce employable graduates. I don't agree to the fact that existing system is not good. There are quite a few aspects of features in the existing system which are pretty good. But then if you can get all the additional things that a learner might have to undergo in the existing system from outside college, if the same thing is built in to the system or the curriculum, I believe it will be of great help to the student community. So, answer to the question, why in higher education, why not from the foundational level? Point is simple. It would take 15 years. Until that time, India as a country cannot afford to produce unemployable graduates. I hope this particular question finds a very, very relevant answer. I will move to the next W, that is what. What about foundation classes then? Balavatika to PU or the +2 level. What about that? So 3 points I would like to state over here. Teaching and learning in foundational classes can be changed for the time being with specific instructions until the state comes out with something very specific, something very concrete, something very relevant for as far as NEP for lower classes are concerned. To limited knowledge that I have, already we have had 3 meetings as far as implementation of NEP from the academic year 22-23 for lower classes is concerned. So maybe another 6 months time, it will be very clear as to what's in store, some changes here and there that would be required, and we should be able to implement it from class 1, if not from Balavatika in the academic year 22-23 onwards. So, and also the school classes have already begun. You can say we are in the middle of the academic year as far as school education is concerned. So with specific instructions, I think some need-based changes can be done until the state comes out with something very, very concrete. The second important thing is, if you have understood the basic or the foundational classes of Karnataka schools, the Nalikali that we have. Nalikali is a very interesting and very engaging and involvement kind of teaching learning environment that we have in the state schools of Karnataka. It's an excellent mode of teaching learning where the children are totally involved, they are totally engaged. And because of this Nalikali concept that is there, I believe a lot of children are missing out on schools during the present time. Obviously, COVID has impacted the education sector, especially the school education sector, to a very large extent. But I would say, all these small children are eagerly waiting to get into the schools for offline classes because of this concept of Nalikali. It's a very wonderful initiative that government of Karnataka had initiated long back. And I believe as far as teaching, learning and Anganwadis is concerned, that should be continued. The third important aspect is immediate focus of the government from the academic year should be from class 1. Though in the NEP government document, NEP document, it mentions about early childhood care. Definitely it has to be focused upon, but I believe class 1 is where the government needs to focus on an immediate basis, because I believe the seed that is sown at this very age, at a very young age, will help the children easily transit into the NEP structure. So early childhood care centers that we are talking about can focus, they can have something of their own for the time being, But then class 1 students is where the government needs to focus on an immediate basis. So I believe that answers to the question what. Now, what are the constraints that I anticipate? I have put forward the constraints in simple 4 points only. First, very important point is mindset changes in teachers and parents. First of all, teachers are a little confused with NEP even till today. No one is very, very clear, or rather, I would say a large majority are not very clear as to how we are going to go about with implementation of NEP is concerned. So change is always resisted. But as a teacher, I believe NEP puts forward a wonderful opportunity to become global teachers. A teacher who brings technology inside the classroom. A teacher who can really convert an ordinary student into an asset. So possibly a positive mindset change in among the teachers would definitely be very helpful as far as implementation of NEP is concerned. I have also mentioned about parents as well. Now, present day when we look at it, parents' involvement in education of his or her children is very much there. I don't say that it is wrong, but too much involvement is also very bad. Freedom to the students to think, to act, to analyze, take decisions. These are all things when a student, can do that if he is given a chance to think independently. So possibly there should be a positive mindset change among the parents as well. So this is one major constraint that I anticipate during the present time. Second very important thing from the teacher's point of view is adopting technology in teaching learning. There are quite a few teachers who are digital aliens. It's time for us to update, to upgrade, and learn the technical skills and adopt technology in teaching learning. So also in the earlier video, I have mentioned this particular word. It may look a little harsh, but then that is required for the present time. If a teacher cannot befriend technology, I repeat, if a teacher cannot befriend technology, it's time for that teacher to retire. I'm very sorry to make that statement, but this is the truth during the present time. Just because I am not acquainted with technology, I will not adopt technology in my teaching learning. That cannot be a reason for me to produce unemployable graduates. So technology has to be learned. It has to be, get into the upgradation mode from a teacher's point of view, and the teacher has to compulsorily bring it inside the classroom so that the students can learn the concepts, learn the courses through technology way, and they are ready for employment. That is the second constraint, that is adopting of technology in teaching learning. Third, very important, and I would say the most relevant during the present time is teacher training. Teacher training on technology and related skills. So as I just mentioned, majority of the teachers are digital aliens. So on a fast track basis, every teacher in higher education institution requires a training. Training when it comes to technology, training when it comes to skill development. Let's put an end to just the chalk talk dance. I think we need to bring in computers, we need to bring in mobile phones inside our classroom. We need to bring in the outside world, the whole world of YouTube videos, images, animations, everything inside the classroom, and make it really engaging, interactive. Because even the UGC focuses on the concept of blended learning. So when I say blended learning, it is not just offline and online mix. You can add more. You can bring in what I would say video based learning, animation based learning, assessment based learning, or rather entire focus, flipped classroom concept. The entire focus is on outcome based learning. So teacher training on technology and related skills has to be put on the fast track, and every teacher should be trained as far as various courses of NEP is concerned. And the last, this is at my personal level, this is the one of the constraint that I see among the parents and among the student community, and that is making regular Kannada compulsory for CBSE, ICSE, IGCSE, and IB students. Initially there was a talk that those who have studied Kannada in PU level, only they will be given regular Kannada. But now the circular from the Department of College and Education says, if a student has studied Kannada at any stage in school level, then the student will have to compulsorily opt for regular Kannada for 4 semesters. Now I am asking a question. CBSE students study Kannada only till 8th standard as a third language. So how much of knowledge will they have if they don't study Kannada in 9th, 10th, first PU, second PU? A ICSE student has studies Kannada only till 6th standard. That is basic Kannada. And if the student has not studied Kannada in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, say 6 years, how will an ICSE student, pick up Kannada, regular Kannada at the degree level? So it's time for the concerned higher education institution stakeholders and the concerned decision makers to make a note of this. At least the CBSE, ICSE, IGCSE, and IB students can be given a chance to study functional Kannada instead of regular Kannada. So this is just an earnest request that I'm making through this particular video. But then students who have studied Kannada till 10th standard under the state board, they can be given a chance for opting for regular Kannada compulsorily. But then as far as other boards, CBSE, ICSE, IGCSE, and IB students are concerned, I think they need to be given functional Kannada as far as their subject or course of study at the degree level is concerned. So these are a few constraints that I foresee as far as implementation of NEP is concerned. So teacher training is one major. Mindset changes among the teachers and parents is very, very important. Coming on to the how to implement. I have already answered this particular question. What I'm going to present on the screen is purely from the commerce teacher's point of view. I believe every commerce teacher should be given immediate training on Excel, on Zoho books as far as accounting is concerned, case study approaches in teaching theory subjects or theory courses are concerned, and effective classroom management. So these are some things I believe, hands-on training has to be given to all the teachers, and this has to be given on an urgent mode. So as a secretary of Mangalore University Commerce Teachers Association, I am very happy to place it saying that already we are doing training for all our commerce teachers in batches. We have already completed one batch consisting of 75 teachers. The second batch of another 75 teachers has begun on 11th of October, and it's a week-long training program, 20 hours, where all the commerce teachers under the university are being trained on Excel, are being trained on Zoho books, case study approaches, and effective classroom management to go along with technology in banking, to go along with ideas on startups as well as entrepreneurship is concerned. So we have started, I believe many more subject associations, commerce subject associations under various universities will take up the initiative and come out with the training methodology for the teachers on, within a very short span of time that is available before we begin our NEP classes as far as academic year 21-22 is concerned. So one of the simplest way to implement NEP would be to train teachers. Because I believe if the teachers are not trained, we will not be able to achieve the outcome that we were expecting out of NEP. Now, there are two very important other issues that I would like to answer. There are a lot of questions being raised on multiple entry and multiple exits. Now, we have seen that it's a 3+1 as far as undergraduate program is concerned. If a student exits at the end of the first semester, at the end of the first year, that is after completion of 2 semesters, a student becomes eligible for a certificate. If the student exits the program at the end of second year, that is completion of 4 semesters, a student is eligible for a diploma from the university. And if a student exits at the end of the third year, that is completion of 6th semester, a student becomes eligible for a bachelor's degree. And if the student studies the 4th year, that is 7th and the 8th semester, then the student will complete his or her undergraduate program with a honors degree. Now, people are asking this question of why the stress is on multiple entry and multiple exits. I would say the stress on multiple entry and multiple exits is only on account of this beautiful feature that we have under NEP. If a student discontinues at the end of the first year, and suppose he is not able to pursue his higher studies further, suppose he has to immediately get himself employed and contribute to the income of the family. Anytime the student wants to come back and complete his studies, he can directly start from where he had left. This is the major beneficial feature that we have as far as NEP is concerned, because under the old system, the existing system that we have right now, there is no such facility. If a student discontinues his studies and wants to come back, he will have to start all over again. Possibly this very feature, stands, makes NEP stand out in comparison to the old education system that we had. Multiple entry and multiple exits. A student can join a particular program at any time, and if feels like discontinue, can rejoin again after 2 years or 3 years. In the existing system, there was a constraint that 3 years course has to be completed in double the number of years, 6 years. If not, a student will have to start all over again. But in NEP, if I complete my first year, 2 semesters, and if I come back after 6 years, I can still continue from where I had left. That's why the stress on multiple entry and multiple exits is given while explaining the concept of NEP. Any person who is presenting his or her thoughts on this particular feature does not have an intention saying that students should exit at the end of the first year. Students should exit at the end of the second year, at the end of the third year. Absolutely not. As a person who has basic knowledge of NEP, his or her job is only to put forward for features of NEP in comparison to the existing system. So even if a student discontinues, when we make this point, we are telling that student, you can come back anytime and continue your studies. Unlike the old system where the student will have to start all over again. That's why many of the presenters on NEP are focusing on this particular feature, because this feature makes NEP very, very unique as far as its implementation is concerned. The next important issue that people are talking about is imposition of a particular language. Let's be very clear, Hindi. Now, if I look at states like Karnataka, if I look at state like Andhra Pradesh, say take Kerala, take Tamil Nadu for that matter, I don't think Hindi can be made compulsory, because a large number of population don't speak Hindi as a language. So let's not worry about imposition of a particular language in the state of Karnataka. What I have understood from the fine print, what the government of Karnataka has put forward as far as NEP for education is concerned, Kannada is being made compulsory. I believe that's a very good move, because I think we need to have the pride and privilege of studying our state language. That is, though there are so many regional languages as well, but I believe every student should study Kannada, either in the regular Kannada mode or at least through functional Kannada mode. And I've already given 2 reasons as to why Kannada is required for students studying in Karnataka. So if you want to know more about it, you can refer my earlier videos where I've given example of Brexit. I've given example of nurses for that matter, as far as Mangalore hospitals are concerned. So my thoughts are very, very clear. There is no question of imposition. Only thing is state language is being given the preference. And I believe that every state is going to follow this particular suit and make the concerned state language compulsory. So I believe that's a good move. But the only issue is CBSE, ICSE, IGCSE and IB students should be given an option to choose either regular Kannada or functional Kannada. That is the only thing. But otherwise, bringing in regular Kannada as one of the language ability enhancement core course, that is one of the modern Indian languages of study, is a welcome step. So I believe I have answered these questions on these 2. So multiple entry and multiple exits is only a special feature that all the speakers are focusing on. There is no idea or no force that the students have to leave at the end of first year. If the student leaves, this is the option available. That is what we intend to say through our presentation. And finally, I would like to conclude. I have already mentioned training is very, very important for teachers. Without the training of teachers, NEP will not generate the kind of outcome that we anticipate. That's why in-depth training to all the teachers, be it commerce or any other courses for that matter. I think teachers have to be trained on technology. Teachers have to be trained on outcome-based learning. Teachers have to be trained on skill-based teaching. Only then we will see the results of NEP very, very fruitful. Or else if training is not provided and the teacher is just told to start with NEP courses in the coming weeks, I believe we are just going to extend the existing system of education. There won't be any tangible benefits that we are going to see out of the implementation of NEP. Now, if there are any questions that you would like to ask on my presentation, you can put your questions on my YouTube comment box, and definitely I would try to answer all. So thank you for your patient hearing. If you would like to connect with me, here's my email ID and my mobile number. So if you have liked the video, I would want you to subscribe to my channel. I would want you to press the bell button and definitely get the notification whenever I come out with my new videos on NEP or any specific courses for that matter. So till we meet again, thank you very much.